Hey everybody, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland. Tonight's video is about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and my immediate response to some of the new nominees. And I'm going to do it a bit differently than I did on my stream. If you haven't seen that stream, you might want to go over and watch it there. I got into great detail on exactly what's wrong with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, they just nominated 17 new rock artists who have a chance to become 2026's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. And I just wanted to bring up an old article I've talked about before. I'm not going to read it or anything. I just want to read off some names for you. How about Alice in Chains, or Greg Allman, or America, or Anthrax, or Argent, or Asia, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Badfinger, Beck, B-52s, the Black Crowes, they're on the list this year. They may actually get in. Blackfoot. How about Blind Faith or Blood, Sweat, and Tears? We've got other bands like Blue Cheer, Blue Oyster Cult, Bon Jovi as a single artist, Boston, Brownsville Station, Canned Heat, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, The Cult. How about Roger Daltrey as a solo artist, or the Spencer Davis Group, or Derek and the Dominoes? Okay, I could go on. Rick Derringer is on this list. Devo is on this list. Dio, the singer himself, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. The list goes on. There's 150 people, artists on this list that have not made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, on that video, I mentioned how John Sykes, the CEO of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, made a statement concerning this year's nominations. And who are the nominations? Let's take a look at them. And keep in mind that John Sykes praises this year's field, all right, as a very diverse field. And he mentions the evolution of rock and roll. And that's the main theme for tonight's video. Okay, let's take a look at some of the new nominations that they've come up with. On this list, we get inductees such as Iron Maiden, Lauryn Hill, Melissa Etheridge, Joy Division / New Order, In Excess, Mariah Carey, as well as New Edition, Luther Vandross, Black Crowes, Jeff Buckley, Sade, as well as Shakira and Phil Collins, along with the Wu-Tang Clan and Billy Idol, as well as the artist known as Pink and Oasis. Now think about those nominations and then go back to the partial list that I just gave you in my intro to this video. All right, and then think about what John Sykes has been doing. I've been bringing this up for the last 3 or 4 years. Every year he comes out with a little soundbite that redefines rock and roll. And this is his answer. We get Mariah Carey, we get Pink, right? We get Melissa Etheridge, who is fine, but I can think of tons. As a matter of fact, I just mentioned tons of bands that are more worthy than that nomination. Now, there are some good nominations here, folks. Oasis is a good nomination. Iron Maiden is a good nomination. Phil Collins as a solo artist, I have no problems with, as well as a couple of others here. But fully half of this list that has been presented to us fits more along the lines of a word that John Sykes has used to describe rock and roll. Now, when you think about those first artists that I mentioned at the beginning of this video versus a full half of the list that I just named, the nominees for 2026 for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we truly do see a diverse list. But is diverse necessarily a good thing? Now, John Sykes also talks about the evolution of rock. Let me give you a clue, Johnny boy. All right, rock and roll was evolving quite finely on its own. I'll give you an example. How about prog rock? Bands like Yes, Pink Floyd, who were completely different than what the Beatles originally brought into classic rock. We have bands like Steely Dan, which is more of a jazz rock. We not only have blues-based bands, but we have bands that were into reggae. Rock and roll, before you got your sticky hands on it, Johnny Boy, was doing just fine and was evolving quite nicely, at least until you got into the game. Now, I want to remind you all about who this guy is, John Sykes. He's not just some nameless CEO for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was placed there quite purposefully by Jan Winter, the same Jan Winter who used to be the CEO for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the editor for Rolling Stone magazine. Well, he got his ass kicked out because he was caught being a racist and a misogynist. Half the people that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's nominating committee also put there personally by Jan Winter, the evil villain, and they come from hip-hop and rap kind of magazines. There's no wonder why we're getting this list. So my question to the tribe tonight is really basic. What do you think of this list with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And a lot of people are saying, look, Michael, calm down. It's really just the Music Hall of Fame anymore anyway. And to those people, I reply, then get rid of the term rock and roll. They won't do it, and I'll tell you why, folks. Because if they did, they'd lose vast amounts of money. There is power to that term, and changing what rock and roll is to make more money and to increase viewers for their silly show, in my opinion, is a dead-end street. John Sykes calls it an evolution of rock and roll. I call it artificial insemination. All right, folks, that's a video for tonight, a real short one, directly to the point, but I did want to get my thoughts out on a regular video concerning this circus that we're enduring yet again in 2026. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. That helps with views. And if you haven't, subscribed to the channel as of yet, that's as easy as pie. All you have to do is hit that subscribe to the tribe button, tap that notification bell, and you'll be notified of all my future videos and or streams, okay? But most of all, folks, it's important to remember this. We are the tribe.